Hey everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Halo 2. Last time we were introduced to the Arbiter as a playable character, and we were hunting down a heretic, filthy heretics, to kill them in the name of the prophets.
What is it? That stench. I've smelled it before.
Alright, we are making our way deeper into this disused Forerunner facility, and things are starting to look a little spooky.
Things are a bit green.
A little green.
I think I know what the stench is.
Do you?
I
Is
think
it
I know
obvious?
what those are.
Yeah. It's actually funny. The original graphics, the glass was harder to see through, so it was a little bit more ambiguous. And this part coming up as well.
What is that? It's moved on. Quickly, before it returns, let's find the heretic leader and finish him off.
So yeah, the Flood are back.
So your squad has never seen them before, then, right?
I don't know. That's kind of up in the air. These are supposed to be like combat-hardened veterans, but who knows?
What happened here?
Me have bad feeling about this. You always have bad feeling. You had bad feeling about morning food nipple.
Close your jaws or I shall bind them shut.
See, heretic!
Hold your fire. Hold your fire! I wondered who the prophets would send to silence me. An Arbiter. I'm flattered.
He's using a holodrome. He must be close. Come out so we may kill you.
Get in line.
Okay, I just want to point out, the whole I've got a bad feeling about this,
Stand firm.
that's actually a Star Wars joke that Halo has kind of taken on for themselves as well. Someone says it in every game, I think.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think I remember it from Halo 1.
Yeah.
Mendoza or something said it.
Yeah, that's right, in the helmet cam cutscene. Halo 1 was definitely trying to reference things on purpose, but anyway, it's a Star Wars joke. They say that in every Star Wars movie as well.
What a classic.
Yeah. So we're gonna
Check,
get introduced.
please.
We're gonna get reintroduced to the Flood here. They have a couple new tricks up their sleeve. Infection forms can now reanimate corpses. So that's Flood corpses if they're still combat worthy, but also just dead elites and dead humans. If a Flood infection form gets to their corpse, they can turn it into a combat form.
Okay, that's pretty spooky.
Yeah, and it makes them a little more dangerous. Like, you can't just kind of ignore them as much because they will just keep raising the dead to fight you.
You were pretty methodical about shooting their arms off last game, so...
Yeah, so that's, I do that here too.
Some
Probably
hard
continue to do so forever. Oh man, I was recently watching some old LP content, or older anyway. A guy named Circle Master was playing some Fallout 4. And he was talking about how every time he plays a game and there are like zombie corpses when you walk into a room, he shoots them all. And that's just like a reflex. And no matter what game, if you walk into a room and there's corpses, shoot them. And I'm basically the same way with the Flood. Shoot off their arms. Speaking of, another new weapon, the Sentinel Laser. So we actually get to use the Sentinel's weapons as well.
I forgot about this.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too, yeah.
Unsurprisingly, it's very good against the Flood. I think that's essentially the function it was designed for, lasering Flood.
So, let me get this straight. Tell me if I'm getting too far ahead of myself, but the Sentinels wanted to use Halo as a weapon, right?
Yeah.
And the Prophets also wanted to use Halo as a weapon.
Yes.
So, why are the Sentinels teaming up with the heretics?
That's actually a really good question. I don't know.
Okay.
Because, yes...
You can cut that out.
No, it's fair. Presumably, the heretics don't want to fire Halo.
Right.
But yes, then the Sentinels shouldn't be helping them.
Okay.
I don't know. I honestly don't have an answer to that. It's a really good question.
You could just say it's badass. That's why.
Maybe they just hacked the mainframe.
I mean, it's also possible that the heretics are totally on board with firing Halo, just not for the same reasons.
I see.
I have no answer.
no
I thought
warfare.
the heretics just wanted separation from the Covenant.
The heretics know that the prophets are lying. I don't know how much more of that I want to say, just because it'll get explained, some of it anyway, later in this episode. And some of it we don't quite know yet. But they are calling the prophets liars, as far as the sort of religious aspect goes. Which they don't like, obviously.
And if they explode Halo, there would be no more class warfare because everyone would be dead.
Yeah.
It would be a true classless society.
Yeah, but that's kind of a null solution to the problem, don't you think?
Well, that's what happens when you optimize for like one parameter.
Yes. I love the phrase null solution.
Yeah, there's like a website where you can find like AI coming up with solutions to games. Yeah, and it's just like full of examples of that where like you give it like an objective and it does it, but like not in the right way.
Yes, I've read through that. It's great. I think there was one where they programmed it they wanted it to beat a game as quickly as possible, but they didn't quite define beat. So it was like finish the game, and it just kept killing itself immediately. Because that, like, ends the game. Funny stuff.
That sounds very entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've been talking over this section here. It's a really long, slow elevator ride. It also has just broken. It stopped spawning enemies, which it's not supposed to do. Which is a little strange. It also highlights some of the, problem with Halo 2 in the way they design their flood encounters. For example, this is not the only time in this level where we're going to be essentially stuck in a room fighting against incoming waves of flood.
Flooded with flood.
Yeah, there you go. Just because the flood have kind of very rudimentary combat tactics where they just rush you, I think it's kind of hard to design encounters for them.
Yeah, I never found them like scary, and I know that the first time playing the first game, I was like, oh god, what's this shit? And then like later on, it was just like, oh, it's just another enemy, you know?
Yeah, once you get used to them, it's just kind of like, okay, flood. But yeah, just so many of the encounters with the flood turn out to be sort of wave defense missions that, I don't know,
are supposed to be wave defense missions.
Yeah, it's especially apparent when the enemies don't spawn, where it's kind of like, oh, is this it?
What did you do?
To make it break, you mean?
Yeah.
Nothing, it just, I actually found that in a number of my test runs, too. It would just break. There's at least one where it broke, like, right at the beginning, and I basically did the whole elevator with no enemies.
That's fun.
Just go and take a shit. And
Man, it'd be nice if it was repeatable, because that section on Legendary sucks. Just sucks.
We should have brought weapons to burn these bodies. Every one is a potential vessel for the Flood.
Say that again?
You're holding a weapon that burns
Yes.
blood.
That's why I gave it to him.
Fucking lazy worker.
Man, I wish I was holding a sentinel gun. My dude.
Oh man, these... Oh, the Flood are so gross.
Nice pants, though.
Yep. They leave the grunts alone. There's, I don't know if you want to call it confusion or controversy, but the Flood carrier forms, there's some kind of, are they grunts or are they combat forms who just aren't combat capable anymore? Because I think some of the original descriptions of the Flood say that combat forms actually turn into carrier forms. But if you look at them, they sort of have the grunts' little tiny legs. So, I'm not actually sure what the answer is for that.
Yeah.
Another one of these scenes where, like, I don't know, if your strategy is probably to, like, attack whoever's strongest, and then...
The multi-faction stuff I don't find as big a toss-up in Halo 2. You're almost always fighting one enemy, and then if there's a second one, they're of relatively minor faction. So in this case, the Flood is the major enemy, and there's only going to be a handful of heretics. Maybe this is why the Sentinels are on the heretic side, because they're fighting the Flood.
Could be.
Yeah, and they were on Master Chief's side, like, just like, maybe they just team up with whoever is, like, non-Flood.
Yeah, except they are shooting at us right away.
Yeah, until you burn them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
And then they remember.
They're,
Because we kind of blew up Halo, so...
we did. Well, not the Arbiter.
No, that's right.
Man,
But I guess...
this is confusing.
I forgot we weren't Master Chief.
Yeah. I should say, sorry, going back, there is a little bit of an answer as to why the Sentinels like the Flood.
Like, not the Flood, like...
Sorry, not the Flood, the Heretics.
Yeah.
But we won't get that till the end. You're still right
see.
that the team-up doesn't quite make sense, but there is a little bit of a reason. This is the other section I was talking about, by the way, where you're just stuck in a room until the Flood stop coming.
I was wondering why you're taking your sweet-ass time.
So, yeah, there's just nowhere to go until the game opens a door for you. And actually, I find that this encounter often breaks. Like, some enemy will spawn, but then get stuck in a monster closet, and you just can't progress.
So you just wing grenades up to it, or does the door close?
I just don't even know where they are. Like, they spawn up top somewhere, but... if an enemy gets stuck, they stop moving, and then you can't see them on the motion tracker, so it becomes very, very difficult to track them down.
Was this an issue in original?
Probably.
I think I only
don't
played the
remember
campaign
it.
twice.
I mean, I haven't played it for a long time before playing for this LP.
I played it twice, I don't think I ever got stuck, so...
The other thing is this area is very, very difficult to cheese if you're playing in Legendary. There's some clever jumps to get up high instead of being down here on the ground, but you can't just wait until it's over. The elevator you can, and I used to know how to do that.
How would you do that?
You just climb somewhere weird and then keep hitting your active camo every time it's available. And then you can just wait till the elevator hits the bottom floor and then fall down.
That's not very Master Chief of you.
It's not.
He's the Arbiter.
Yeah.
Oh, right.
I think it's even less the Arbiter. He's supposed to be a pretty honorable warrior. I don't think hiding and waiting till the danger's done is supposed to be in his wheelhouse.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty, like, emo. He's like, that makes two of us, like, in last episode.
Yeah, I mean, he was sentenced to death for heresy.
Leader, the storm is about to hit. We cannot maintain our position.
Bring the Phantoms close to the mine. We are not leaving until the leader of these heretics. Arbiter, the flood have spread throughout the station. We don't have enough troops to manage such a large infestation. Find the leader of these heretics. Kill him now!
I guess now's a good time to point out, I honestly don't know why the Flood are even on this facility.
Weren't they were taking ships over, weren't they?
Well, the Flood wouldn't have been. They never got access to a ship.
Not escape pods or any of that?
That
No.
creepy green container wasn't like some sort of weird breeding thing.
Well, so that's the thing. They make it seem like they did have some research facilities on this station, but I don't know why they would, because it's supposed to be a gas mine. Yeah, I guess I just don't have an explanation for it. Maybe there is one and I just don't know it, but
What gas are they mining?
don't know.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a fair question.
Nitrogen dioxide, maybe?
It's
kinda-
Vespine gas.
Oh, don't say that. What's the one on Venus? It's like sulfuric acid or something?
Yeah.
Heretic
I think that's right.
you see?
It's yellow.
Yeah, actually, someone just linked me to those pictures the other day. Probably because of the Mars rover stuff.
This will save me from the storm, but you will be consumed.
Arbiter, where is he? Stinking floodbait boxed himself in tight. We'll never break through this.
Then we shall force him out.
How?
The cable. I'm going to cut it.
Get everyone back to the ships. Return to the landing zone. The Arbiter will continue upward, cut this station loose, and scare the heretic from his hole.
May our lords guide your hand. We shall not forget your sacrifice.
Take my fight. Without the cable, will stand its might.
Okay, so this is a terrible idea. But yeah,
This
I
is
mentioned...
cancel culture, you know that?
Oh my god.
It is. He's just got ideas and you're canceling him.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. I don't know if cancel culture is even strong enough. This is, yes, this is an ideological assassination. Anyway, I mentioned last time that yes, this facility is actually hanging down into threshold's atmosphere, so we are just going to drop it and let it fall down until it's crushed by the pressure, basically. which I'm sure is going to be extremely effective, but I don't think it's a good idea while we're standing on it.
I mean, you've already sort of given up your life for redemption. It tracks.
No, you're right. That actually makes a lot of sense. The kind of like, this is a suicide mission anyway.
Yeah.
All my bandits are in the air, Arbiter. Go ahead, cut the cable.
Whoop, got the buttons mixed up there. So yeah, this section is very, very cool. The design of this area, where you can see the cable, I did try and take a look at it from outside at the very, very beginning of the last level, but it all comes in here and then ties into these hard points, which we can mess with.
Aren't actually that hard.
No.
Is this, like, surely that's not a great idea to put all your structural design into this one point, right?
I mean, if you're talking about hanging something from a cable, eventually it's got to come to sort of a single point.
I guess you're right.
I really like what they did with this part too. The actual level itself does tilt. Like, you can sort of see it.
Oh yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool.
I don't know how well it comes through in video, but it actually does feel
No, it
very
does.
weird to have the level tilt while you're playing it.
Yeah, it definitely looks weird.
He's just glitching sideways a little bit.
Yeah. So cool though.
Final cable, Arbiter.
Before we do that, let's check out the original graphics quickly.
Interesting.
I still think the storm is actually pretty much the coolest part of the level design.
I thought it was very good, even in the original graphics.
That did it. The station is in free fall.
Now jump.
So that is one of the things I wanted to point out. It is definitely possible if you jump, you just get sucked out and die. Because they actually did mess with the gravity or whatever for that part of the level.
Oh, that's some effort.
Yeah, it's neat. I mean, it sucks if it happens by accident, but it's cool that it can happen.
The heretic leader is on the move. Do not let him escape. We'll stay with you as long as we can.
There's another kind of cool point from that section, which is very hard to catch. I saw a note of it somewhere else when I was Googling other random stuff about the level. But there's a whole bunch of Flood and Sentinels around when you cut the final cable, they actually all stop fighting and turn to look as it creaks.
That's a nice little touch.
Yeah.
I just want to point out that you're holding human grenades now too.
Yeah, that's right, actually.
How the fuck did you get that?
You know, that's a really good question.
I need to stop poking holes in this and just enjoy it.
I mean, but that's like easy enough that the humans and Covenants have been fighting long enough that they could have a store of human weapons.
No, this is totally a mistake on my part. I'm pretty sure I had a sneaky cut there during one of the cutscenes, and I just forgot to turn off one of the cheats that gave me grenades.
Gotcha.
I think
Everybody,
you did just get me.
Fucking
canceled. You've been canceled.
Oh, god damn it, I'm usually so careful with that kind of thing.
Alright,
well.
I'm unsubscribing. I'm your Patreon subscriber.
Yeah. Sure, buddy. Man, I wonder if I throw any of the grenades.
Ah, jeez. You better hope that you don't.
I know, now I'm worrying about it.
Who switches grenades in Halo? I mean, come on.
What's loaded? They'll never escape this mountain or an abandoned. Wait, the hangar. There was a Sheriff fighter inside. Arbiter, you know what this is.
So
That's cool.
yeah, we get another Banshee section, and the cool part is just all the debris that actually does fly upward. And so do we, actually. You actually sort of have to boost down to make it out alive. I got that Banshee section over with quite quickly. As neat as it is with the different gravity, it's kind of pointless. I honestly kind of think they only threw it in for symmetry. Because we are fighting our way back exactly the way we came.
Classic Halo.
That's right, it is.
But they changed the map, so you're like, yeah.
Yes, so now there's flood all over the place, and things are exploding.
That is very typical Halo map design.
They did do it a whole lot less in Halo 2 than they did in Halo 1, but it does still pop up sometimes.
Yeah, it's not bad. I think it's a cool idea.
That one just doesn't want to die.
No, for real.
Good thing this freefall is so long.
Yeah.
It's a deep planet.
I do wonder how long it would take from like a relatively safe altitude before, you know, a not safe altitude.
Would your gravity would increase a little bit and then decrease as you got closer to the center? Is that right?
No, it would just continually increase, unless you're talking about like buoyancy.
Like jumping in, but your frame of reference is falling in. I don't know. Whatever. This is confusing.
Yeah, I'd have to think about it for a while.
I'll wait for your Kerbal Let's Play.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going any of the gas giants in Kerbal anytime soon.
Really? I thought you'd been playing this game for years.
I have, but I have a bad habit of putting it down and then picking it up and starting from scratch and... I did a series of videos where I went to one of the other planets, and that was the first time I'd ever been there. And it was not a particularly difficult one to get to. I just never quite played for long enough to actually do it.
Mm-hmm.
When I played Kerbal, all my trips were one way, and usually only about one lot to the right of the spaceport.
Yeah, that is the true
How would
Kerbal
you like
experience.
to visit the cafeteria down the street? I would love to. Will I survive? No.
Oh no! Oh no! I forgot to put a horn in this thing.
It's funny that you say that, but all the different buildings at the Space Center are places where you can do science. Like, if you take a rover to the vehicle assembly building, you can, like, do a surface scan at the vehicle assembly building.
Huh.
Yeah. Just for
That's
some
cute.
easy points.
Turn, heretic. Arbiter, I would rather die by your hand than let the prophets lead me to slaughter. Who has taught you these lies? The Oracle.
Hello, I am 343 Guilty Spark. I am the monitor of Installation 04.
Ask the Oracle about Halo. How they would sacrifice us all for nothing.
More questions? Splendid. I would be happy to assist you.
Okay, so this is going to be like the first really obvious boss fight. And it's kind of a bullshit one.
Yeah, they're just holograms.
What am I seeing here? I'm seeing 6 heretics.
Yeah, so there's 3 of them, and 2 of them are holograms, which you can't really hurt. You can make them disappear, but they can hurt you, which just sucks.
Bullshit.
Total bullshit. And that's also the explanation there in that cutscene for why the Sentinels are on their side, because the heretics have made friends with 343 Guilty Spark. The alliance still kind of doesn't make sense, because these heretics don't actually want to activate Halo since they know it kills them. But I guess they're friends.
What a cool looking ship.
Unfortunate. His edification was most enjoyable.
I had no choice, Holy Oracle. This heretic imperiled the great journey.
Oracle, great journey. Why do you meddlers insist on using such inaccurate verbiage?
That is the Oracle. So it is. Come, we are leaving this system.
All right.
Bam.
That was badass. Yeah, I'm kind of speechless.
What's his name? Tardis? Tartar?
Tartar sauce.
Tartar sauce.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we used to call him.
He doesn't get like a formal introduction until more than halfway through the game. But yeah, he's Tartarus. He's sort of the leader of the brutes in the Covenant.
He gets shit done.
Total bitch.
He's all business.
He's kind of an asshole.
He's
Total
a strong,
bitch.
you know.
Di-
He's,
like, I
he's
know-
a bit of a brute.
I know the urge. Oh, very nice. Thank you. I know the urge to be mean to 343 Guilty Spark, but like, come on. He's a holy oracle.
Uh-huh. I don't even know who the bad guys are at this point, and I played this game.
I think we're all the bad guys. When you think about it.
Are we the baddies?
Definitely humans.
The Flood. The Flood are the bad guys, yeah. No one likes the Flood.
Yeah, sure.
We'll go with that. Alright, well. Thank you all for watching. See you later.